ask people, because then like, you can always go in. Now you can sit
Yeah.
down.
But Gigi and I were talking about the town hall yesterday.
How was that?
It was pretty good.
It was great. It was great. I took a lot of notes. I'm gonna share some.
I know Jerry was passing out roses.
JJ got a rose.
I got the.
Wow. So when's the wedding then?
Did you watch it? Or you just heard about the roses?
I saw it on someone's Instagram.
Mm.
I was in class, feels
Oh,
like school in a stupid group project. In
Oh
an
my God.
asynchronous class where you never meet the people and you never are on Zoom together. And I'm supposed to do a group project where it's 70% of my grade with people I only interact with through messaging.
Oh my God.
Why am I doing
Because you're
this?
doing those remote classes. My kids are doing that too, and it's tough.
I like it because like I don't want to deal with
Driving.
working. No, well, because Cal State LA is not that far from where we live, like 20 minutes max without traffic or with traffic sometimes. But it's not. I didn't want to like go in person and then like never be here and at least in like these trainings because otherwise would just be like solely focusing on school.
Yeah.
Just like fully in school in person. And I'm just like, what am I doing?
That's true, because
I can't do both at the same time like that.
you're actually being productive with your time, which is good. So
Yeah, it's also a lot easier. Classes are all like stuff I don't want to be in, but they're surprisingly easy except for the stupid group project. Because they're all like,
70% of your grade.
yeah, I mean, we're getting full points on everything as a group, but it's just like. I already did a group project in a 5-week summer course with people and they were great and really responsive, but it
Yeah.
was still an asynchronous class. And you're doing a big assignment and you have to communicate with them all the time. It's like, this is stupid. There's probably better ways of like getting students to collaborate and actually like be students together in an asynchronous class. And this is just like exhausting.
There's always that one person that's always just riding the coattails. They get the grade.
Yeah, although she's like, because people don't like after people were complaining of her so much of like communications, but possible because this is asynchronous and you can't see the people. She's like, you're all gonna get graded individually and you only put the names of the people who work on the assignments. That's okay, but that's all of us. But like not everyone's like that.
Yeah.
It's just so dumb that like I'm doing.
You should ask her.
Class and then she also assigns out the most work outside of that spot.
Yeah, she's in 12
You're-
pages.
You're a better person than I am. You're going to college
I said-
and you're working here.
Sharon.
I mean, I'm not really like working just because, I mean, I am obviously, and fuck my dude.
So
Yeah.
I told her.
Happen, but like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing deals because it's not,
And then
I'm not expecting it to happen maybe until like next year.
something you have.
Yeah.
Unless I get like,
Okay, this is a good head start because you have your foot in the door. You're doing the classes, you're doing school, and then when school ends, then you're like, you already have this base.
yeah,
You can
and
dive
I
in.
can have a backup of, I can go into HR
Agent.
if I really, this doesn't work at all, which I don't want that.
All right, so you guys know I share my sync folder with you guys.
Yep.
I have it.
There for you. Okay, so I just want to show you what's in it.
Oh,
So here I have listing, I'm showing you, like,
oh,
there's a folder in there called listing miscellaneous. So in there, you have listing presentation.
right.
So I have,
I was gonna ask you about that.
I have different listing presentations. I have Michael Lewis Market Suite, Keller Williams, Beverly Hills,
Oh, shit.
Jeff Glover listing presentation, Ben Curry. These are KW agents that are known that are listing presentations.
I keep getting ads for like this woman on Instagram who makes them and she makes them like very girly and cutesy. Oh, you can get them anywhere.
Oh, right. So,
It's like templates and you can just fill in all this stuff and just, so
yes.
I kind of want to take it.
So working on your business is having a listing presentation. So anything that you think helps express your value to a seller, you should always put in a folder called listing presentation. Just
Right.
have a folder on your computer called presentation and just feed it. Now, I mean, technically, you should always be ready to go on a listing presentation. The only thing that's gonna change is the comps. Right? So you can go through your whole spiel for the listing presentation with anybody, but that'll always be the same. But then the custom part would be the comps.
Exactly.
If you're gonna send them like a pre-appointment packet, which
Yes.
I kind of want to do, what do you recommend putting in there out of everything that you normally have in a
Right, so you can literally send them your entire presentation
Except for comps.
except for comps.
Okay, so you can do the whole thing.
Yeah, and then you can arrive and say, is there anything you want to discuss?
That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to discuss before we get started on this?
But you don't suggest like taking
Most
it.
people are not gonna read what you send them,
That's true, but
but no, but
Never know.
it's good to send, like that is,
you never know. What if they do?
yes, that is actually the best appointment you can have. When someone has already read through your stuff,
That's,
and then they are asking you specific questions that you'll answer.
that's when you want a lawyer client.
Yeah, so you,
Will,
Yeah.
you would send this, but then you bring you.
I love
comps.
attorneys. I love
I want
attorneys.
to.
Attorneys are the best clients because they're very matter of fact. No, very matter of fact. Like, I like that.
Yeah.
And they also read everything and they
That's-
understand contracts.
I love it.
That's why I wish my mom could meet clients, but. Not allowed.
You will. She
So
Yeah.
the goal is to have a listing presentation that is your default listing presentation.
Right.
I'm gonna change the cover page. It's gonna say prepared for, right? And then I'm gonna have comp.
Okay, and then any of these that you click, you would have something.
And like, here's Michael Lewis marketing
It's
suite.
like you should see.
So these are PowerPoints, which are editable. So,
I've
you know,
tried
this is
to get
the,
it, or they don't respond.
he has newer stuff. This is older stuff.
Yeah.
So you can subscribe to Michael Lewis. He,
Give me names.
Michael Lewis, he's always at the family reunion. He's in the
Right.
vendor hall, like he's selling stuff. Like I was so.
And don't put it in a right chest, immediately say no.
Yeah, I know, but even if I
That's Michael Lewis marketing suite. But he used to have
share stuff like that, that people should.
Cloud CMA.
Mhm.
He used to have a link in Cloud CMA just for him,
Can't share.
and he doesn't support.
People who are junior, with other people.
And ask-
I was like, where did you come? No, it's
Cause you would go into Cloud CMA and it would make stuff like.
This has to be
horrible. That's the problem.
Keep in mind,
Like, it shows us small-
listing presentations are virtually the same. You, Global Banker, Sotheby's, Hilton and High, like, everyone is basically gonna have the same material.
Major law firm.
It'll look different because of the marketing departments that are putting it together. But
That's
the material's the same.
Yeah.
So
Big time,
the
so.
question is, why should someone hire you and not them?
Very good job for her.
So that's who you need to focus on.
But
And it's about the relationship.
I want, but I don't want to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hopefully
So,
things will work out for you
Yeah.
here, so.
Okay,
I want
right,
things.
thank
My
you.
backup is, finish my degree. HR with nothing,
There you go. You're an HR manager. I was an HR manager in college.
but I
so-
don't want to do that, but it is my backup because it does pay the best out of everything you could do with just a bachelor's.
Yeah.
In psychology, and I don't want to be a therapist.
all right, so this class is. What is it, work your sphere? Yeah, work your sphere. So your sphere is people, everyone that knows you. That's your sphere of influence. Most of your business is going to come from your sphere. Either if it's not directly from them, it's from a referral from them. So that is really the base. Hi. How you doing?
Yeah.
Good. So that's really, you know, just knowing that. Were you here Friday for the, yeah, you're.
Yeah.
Okay, sick. So. Working your sphere is going to be having a CRM. And getting your contacts into. So. With KW, we have Command. I mean, you can, of course, you can pay for it with a different company. But we have Command, you know, agent.kw. You want to get your clients in there, or is everyone in Command?
Yes.
All your contacts?
Well, no, I haven't put my personals in there yet because I want to do that and then start sending monthly.
Okay, what I suggest is importing everyone into Command using the KW app. Did you do that?
I've
Oh.
done,
Or you're manually adding people?
I'm gonna manually,
Okay, got it. All right, so what I would recommend to everyone is downloading the KW Command app. It's the red icon. And in the Command app, you can import all your contacts from your phone. Now, just because you import them doesn't mean that they're automatically gonna get contacted. No one's gonna get contacted. But- So what I do is I'll import everybody and then mark them as a lead. So a lead is someone that you have not contacted yet and had a real estate conversation with. Once you talk to someone and have a real estate conversation with them, you would unmark them as a lead. Now they're a contact, and then you will put them on some type of smart plan. So that's the goal. This is your opportunities. This is what we want to do. We want to, if we can, this is really, really the goal. This is what Gary Keller is telling us to do, is to take 10 people a day and get them on a smart plan and put them here in the cultivate area. That's what we want to do, cultivate. From the cultivation area, we want to get them into an appointment. So potential sellers, potential buyers. If they currently own a home, then we're gonna probably put them in the cultivate listing area. If they first-time home buyers, or someone is telling you, I'm thinking about buying something, we'll put them in the cultivate buyer area. So the goal is to get them to get an appointment with them, discuss listing their property or discuss listing them as buyer, and then signing them. So there'll be an active listing or an active buyer. So this is the flow chart, and it's really great tools. I want to share yesterday. We had a panel yesterday at our office meeting of agents that have been in the business 7 years, 4 years, and 3 years. And they've done career deals. All of them were like around 30 deals. So, so I'm gonna share, I just took down notes here because these are newer agents that are doing business. So, so someone said, there's a bold law called success is simple but not easy. It's simple because we have systems. So that's what makes it simple. It's simple to follow the system. It's not easy because you have to do it. But we have the systems. So success is simple but not easy. So it's simple because we have the system. Use our systems. They're here. Make sure everyone knows that you are a resource. So you want to be the person that someone thinks of to call when they have a question. Right? So if someone has a question about a tenant they have, or someone has a question about a tax bill they have, or they have a question about their title, or anything that has to do with real estate, you want to be the person that someone's going to think of first to call. So everyone knows that you are a resource, right? That's your value. You have to be top of mind. So friends, referrals, social media. So let's see. So all 3 of these agents that were being interviewed yesterday did social media. They did social media in conjunction with other things. They were pretty focused on their target markets. So in the Keller Williams book, Millionaire Real Estate Agent. So in this book, on page 138, there's a list of targets to focus on, to go after. So open up the book here, page 138.
Today's the day.
Millionaire Real
That's what each other can do. Yeah.
There's the book. 138. I don't know if these pages are exactly. 130, here we go. So it's on 140 here, so the cover here. Okay, this page, page 138. These are to give you an idea to go after for prospecting and for marketing. So now, again, your people that know you, that's where your business is going to come from. It's the easiest business you get. And you don't have to have experience to have friends do business with you. They just have to trust you. They know you're going to do a good job for them. And they need to know that you're doing this full time. So if you have another job, they shouldn't know about your other job. People just need to think you're doing it. So I hope everyone here, when they see a for sale by owner sign, pulls over and calls the number. I really hope so. If you see a sign in front of someone's lawn for sale and it's not a real estate sign, you should definitely pull over, call the phone number. You know, I would say, hi, this is JJ Wallack, Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. I see there's a sign in front of such and such address. Do you cooperate with agents? Do you cooperate with, what are they gonna say? Right. Yes, great. Do you have a buyer? Bring them. Do you have a buyer? So it's gonna be the same conversation with everybody. Do you have a buyer? So you have to just be prepared to answer that question. I have a lot of buyers. Let me come see your property. Not gonna just bring someone in indiscriminately. Now, I want to get the appointment. I don't want to answer a bunch of questions over the phone. I want to get in front of them and earn their trust. That's how I'm gonna create the relationship. So my goal is just to get the appointment. When I'm in the appointment, I'm going to talk about all the things that are for sale by owner. I'm gonna scare them, basically. I'm gonna use scare tactics. So what is a scare tactic? It's showing them a 32-page residential purchase agreement. Okay, who's gonna fill this out? Right? Who are you using to fill this out? So they're gonna probably say they have an attorney that they're gonna use. Okay. So their attorney, does your attorney do real estate every single day? No, they're an attorney, right? They're not showing property. They're not talking to buyers and sellers. They're talking to people that have problems. They're not trying to sell your product. That's my job. That's what I do every day. So there's a reason people hire agents to represent them and sell property. So, you know, that's what I'm going to get into with that. And I'm also going to offer to help them, you know, if they need assistance, of course. I want to be their resource. And usually that for sale by owner is going to turn into a listing. Because I'm telling a for sale by owner, you know, how are people finding out about your property? They're driving down your street. Like, that's your only market. How are the people finding out? So there are some people that will put their property in Zillow for sale by owner, right? So what happens? They'll get a call. They're only looking for a buyer, maybe, or an agent's calling them and they're saying, bring your buyer. In that type of scenario, they're not opening up their property to the public. The way for a seller to get the most money is to have their property exposed to every buyer. And hopefully we can get two buyers at the same time that love the property and they can fight with each other. That's how the parts go. You will never have that opportunity as a for sale by owner, right? If I personally want to buy a property in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right, I'm going to call an agent in Tulsa. And the agent only has access to what's in their local MLS. Right? But that's how I'm going to do it. Like, if I want to buy a property, even in Calabasas, I'm gonna call an agent in Calabasas and say, you know, find property for me. I'm not driving up and down every street to find a property. And if it's a Zillow for sale by owner listing, like, it's just crazy. So I think that for sale by owners, again, you see a sign, pull over, call them, get an appointment. You know, I'll help you prepare for that appointment. We'll talk. There's a lot of scripts and dialogues for sale by owners. You can go on YouTube and get those. Expires. It's very interesting. Andrew Bloom, right, who has a big team in Arizona here. Yesterday at our office meeting, there was a question that went back to him, like, what does he do for daily prospecting? And he was saying he does so much daily. It's the whole smorgasbord of what he does every day. He does postcards, does newspapers, he does magazines. But he said he does expireds, and cancels it. Was what he said. So, right?
Yeah.
It's part of his repertoire. An expired listing is a frustrated seller. They couldn't get what they wanted. But it's someone who raised their hand and they said, hey, I'm a potential seller. So it's gonna be the same conversation as a for sale by owner. An expired is gonna say, bring your buyer. Do you have a buyer? Bring your buyer, right? I'm not signing any new listings. I'm not hiring another agent. If you have a buyer, bring your buyer. Now, you know that's the conversation you're gonna have with the buyer. So you just have to be really good at your terms of dialogues for an expired. So get in there, earn their trust. I think 90% of expireds relist within 6 months. It's a crazy statistic. So you want to be the agent. Now, once you get an expired listing and you list it and sell it, you're now creating dialogue and something that you can show a future expired. And then you get another expired and sell that. Now you're starting to build your portfolio of expireds that you've taken and resold, right? And then that's going to be your expired package that you send out to these expired listings. All right, just sold. So telemarketing. I can give you the numbers. Again, if you come to me and say, JJ, give me the numbers around this house. So just pick a property that just sold in the area that you want to farm. And I would pick up the phone. Hi, this is JJ Wallack, Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. Real quick, the property at such and such address just sold for $2,500,000. It's pretty similar to your size property. Would you be a seller in the same price range? And then you can just see where the conversation goes. They might say no and hang up, or they might say, tell me more about it. And then, right? So do you have any buyers? Like you say there were, if you know a little more about the property that just sold, you can say, this is how long it took to sell. There were buyers that lost out and are looking to buy right now. I think if we put your property on the market, we could have buyers for it immediately. Just listed. So again, if you come to me as JJ, give me the numbers around this property that was just listed. I can give you the numbers. And you would call and say, hi, this is JJ Wallack, Keller Williams, Beverly Hills. Property, well, real quick, a property was just listed around the corner from you at such and such address. Do you have any friends or family that you think would like to be your neighbor? Okay. Past clients. So once you have past clients, you can call them, but it doesn't have to necessarily be from real estate. It can be from something else, right? Allied resources. So these are your allies. There are always people that are very connected to everybody. Like everyone, someone who is in touch with a ton of people. Like I'm sure you can think of someone who knows everyone, right? Person who knows everyone and is always out there very social, you want that person to be your ally, right? Make sure you really cement that relationship and you're always meeting with that person. If you are always meeting with that person, the social butterfly person, that is your best referral, right? That's a great person to take to lunch all the time. Yeah, doesn't make sense, right? I mean, it doesn't. So geographic farm area, that's up to you. Not a lot of people do it. The people who do it are very successful at it. People who commit to it. Because I know you guys can drive through any neighborhood and you'll see 3 or 4 people dominating that area, right? You can be that person, but it takes time. All starts with today, right? So you just have to make up your mind that you're going to do that. So Gary Keller says 500 homes. Start with the street, own the block, meaning know every single person on the block, when they moved in, how much they paid, know everything about that block. And then you'll expand to 500 homes. Yesterday, Andrew Bloom said 1,000 homes. I think his farm area, I'm not sure if it's 10,000 or 30,000. It's a lot. Yeah, it's big. It's really big. But he does 11 or 12 sales a month in Arizona. Wow. Yeah, a month. So again, it's how many people you're talking to. That's all it comes down to. There's nothing crazy. It's just how many people are you reaching, right? The more people that you reach, the more business you're gonna have. It's really that simple. Simple. The more people you. So, apartments. Please tell me how to get into apartments. I don't know. I can't break in, like the door's locked at the front, but,
Hit the call box until someone lets you,
hit the call box, yeah,
Just walk in with a pizza, they all let you in.
pizza.
but then elevators also you need to keep up to get in for a lot of things.
So,
Due to my apartment.
you know, first time for renters are a great resource to go after or to buy something. So all that rent is just being given away. I think there are a lot of renters that don't realize that they're able to buy. Right? And those are the ones that you want to find. So if you want to go after, if that's your thing to go after first time buyers or renters, I would create some kind of package and work out a deal with maybe Ramin from Rocket. Printing is always going to be the biggest expense when you keep out. If you're a door knocker and you're going out farming an area, you always have to be printing and printing and printing. That I know the printing costs add up. If you give some space on your print ad to a local restaurant as a coupon or Ramin or someone, maybe they might be willing to chip in for your printing costs. So just something to keep in mind. Local restaurant, you know, if you go to the local restaurants in the area and say, hey, would you like to be on my flyer? I'm door knocking 1,000 doors. They might say yes. Like, don't think just because it's a big business that they're not going to do it. But the manager in that local shop they have the ability to get permission to do that. Corporations. So corporations bigger corporations have an HR department. This isn't interesting. I mean, really thinking outside the box. We are next to Cedars-Sinai Hospital. So I'm gonna look at that as a corporation. If you can get a doctor from Cedars as a buyer, that's a great buyer. I don't know how to break into them like generally. I don't think the doctors talk with each other, yeah.
Quick story, I went to an open house yesterday and you know Sherry Beanstalk?
Yeah.
She was the agent and there was a couple there. And she talked to them for like 15 minutes and then she said they want the house. And she's like, I just grabbed him from another house. He was looking for his mother. And I started talking to him and he told me he's a doctor and his wife is a lawyer. And I'm like, you guys need your own place and then call your wife. And I brought them over and now they want the house. She's like,
So Sherry Beanstalk is a huntress.
she's like, I forgot about the mother. I'll get back to her later. And now I'm selling them.
What's that show with she's a huntress. She goes after
It's what she
she's what she kills. Like she actually says that I eat what I kill.
I met her the first time yesterday and I was like,
Yeah. She's a daily prospector. She knows what she has to do and she executes.
this is how she got to the doctor. It's either
So
something.
she does, I don't know if she doesn't, she thinks she does 100 million a year. Yeah. So she used to be Keller Williams Larchmont and she is now her own broker. So pretty
It's
impressive.
amazing.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
But
Now, what she is a geographic farm area person.
Yeah.
So she works Hancock Park
Hancock.
and yeah, very impressive.
It was impressive to watch. She
Yeah.
said they wanted to buy
The
it
fact
for
that
the
she gave 15 minutes to someone is impressive.
No, she brought him with her from a different property.
Interesting.
She's like, come with me. And she's selling him this property.
Okay.
Like,
All right, so the reason I'm bringing up Cedars-Sinai in particular is because that organization is huge. First of all, it's huge. Like I don't know how many doctors are members of Cedars-Sinai, but the need for doctors, for like a company like Cedar Sinai to attract talent, keep the talent, they have to offer the doctors a reason, not just to be at Cedar Sinai. What they do is they have a program, for their doctors where they will provide down payment assistance. So they'll give them a big chunk of down payment money to buy something. And they have a mortgage forgiveness plan where the longer they remain at the hospital, every year a portion of their loan is forgiven. So that's how they keep the doctors for retention. So it's really great. If you guys can figure out how to target doctors at Cedars, great. I have gone online and I've tried to buy call lists of doctors from Cedars. The companies that I have found wanted me to pay, I think 1,500. I wasn't willing to do it. You can. I wasn't willing to, but you know, if you want to do it, go for it. I think 1,500. Yeah, there are companies out there that you can buy calling lists from. Data companies. So do that. Just mentioning that because that's a huge thing. Builders. So I know, you know, I know from just what I've seen, and I can relay to you what I've seen. So I've seen a few agents in particular go after new home builders. You know, they drive around an area, they'll see a property going up. There's usually a tarp around the property, and there are signs that are attached to that tarp. They'll call the builder, they'll talk to him, can I see your property? Let me see what you're building. They'll take a tour. And they'll make a relationship with the builder. They will really, really try to sell that property prior to it being completed. Okay. Because they're making a relationship with the builder. I've watched agents make these relationships and get listings because the builder didn't sell it prior to completion. And once you are selling brand new property, other builders want you as an agent. So I've watched it happen. So again, it's a niche. You could be the new construction agent, right? Banks are relationships that you guys could be making those relationships right now with asset managers. Richard, very, very hard to do. There are a lot of walls to get to the person who's the asset manager.
Yet to get to the assets.
So banks, so in California, if you loan money on a property to anyone and there's a note secured on that property, if the borrower stops paying, the lender can't just take the property. The rules are that they have to go to foreclosure. So what's going to happen for a lender that makes a loan on a property, if they stop getting paid, they have to first file a notice of default. That's going to get recorded. And then the borrower has 60 days to make a payment or work something out. If they can't, 60 days later, there's going to be a notice of sale filed. And then that is going to post the day of the auction. And now what's going to happen is if the borrower doesn't work something out by the date of the auction, there's going to be an auction. It's going to be on the courthouse steps. It could be in Pomona, at Downey, and wherever they do. Norwalk.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an outdoor auction on the courthouse steps. You're going to get there. You're going to look around at this giant courtyard. You're going to say, what's going on? There's no one here. And the auction is scheduled for, say, 10 a.m. At 9:59, you'll see someone, and then a bunch of people will gather around the person. And they're going to say, we're here for the auction of such and such property. Anyone here to bid on it, please raise your hand. And people who are going to be bidding on it will raise their hand. And then the auctioneer will say, show me your money. And you're going to have to open your purse or whatever and show your cashier's checks that you're there to bid cash. So now, if nobody, so people that are coming to that auction are buying the note, they're buying the default loan. The lender that had the loan, they're gonna be made whole at that auction. So they're gonna start the bidding at whatever the amount is owed plus whatever is owed, all those taxes, fees and everything. That's gonna be the starting bid. And then whenever someone bids, that lender is gonna get paid off. They're gonna be made whole. Now, let's say nobody bids. Right? There's an auction, nobody bids at the auction. Now, if nobody bid at the auction, it goes back to the lender. Now the lender got the property back. So they didn't get paid off on their note, now they own the property. That's called an REO. So when you hear REO, that's what it is. It's real estate owned by the bank. It went to foreclosure. Nobody bid at the foreclosure auction. Now it's an REO. Okay. What is the bank gonna do now? Banks are not property managers. They want to sell the property. They're gonna hire a real estate agent to sell it. They can't sell it to their cousin, Vinny, right? That ain't gonna happen. Because there's a board of directors for the bank. And they have to prove to the board of directors that they didn't sell it to some family member, right, for some low amount, because that would be cheating the stockholders of the bank. So everyone in the banking industry knows the way that you're gonna get the most money for a property is to list it. So they're gonna hire an agent like you to clean up the property and sell it on the market. And they're gonna need you to show them that you had 2 open houses, that you advertised it, right? That's how they can show their stockholders that they did the right job. Now, that is the asset manager at the bank who is choosing the real estate agent. So if you want to spend time creating a relationship with the asset manager, that's a great relationship to make now, because right now there are no foreclosures. Very, very few, not a lot. Compared to an environment where there's a lot of foreclosures, right? You need to have this relationship made now. Once there's a lot of foreclosures, the banks already have their relationships. It's too late. So, you can walk into your bank and say, who's the asset manager? And you can get the runaround, right? But there is someone there that's an asset manager, and if you have a friend at a bank, they have access to the roster and they can put you in the right direction. So that's a relationship, that relationship right there could earn you 200 to 300 listings a year if you're able to capitalize on it. So if that was my thing, I would want to have a locksmith, right? A landscaper, painter. I'm gonna have a whole portfolio of vendors. And I'm gonna have material. This is what I'm gonna do for you as the bank. Every listing I take, right? I'm gonna get the tenant out. I'm gonna clean it up. I'm gonna paint it, do the landscaping, change the locks. I'm gonna have a whole list of what services I'm providing a bank. Because that is hundreds of listings a year in that time.
You said locksmith, landscaper, painter.
So you just have to think, what does the bank want? So a bank is not a property manager. They are not gonna clean up a property, right? So you're probably gonna need a crew. So who's your crew gonna be? You're gonna have a locksmith, you're gonna have a painter, a landscaper. You might need a pool guy. Stager, maybe. I mean, just, think about how much you're gonna give to this. Now, the interesting part is I don't know the answer to this because we're in a new.
Look at that. That's definitely a, a bump up of the community goods experience of a Hawaiian roll. How much are they serving that for? How much?
I don't know how to.
18 for one?
You can mute someone, you
It
just
has to
gotta.
be for one.
It's okay if I go to participants.
18, that's cheap.
Today is the 24th.
AJ, does the asset manager give you a budget possibly to pay?
Oh, so here's what I was gonna say. No, this is money out of your pocket. If you don't sell it, you lose the money.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So that's every listing you take is a business decision. Now the bank in a short sale situation, I know. Historically, when we had short sales and we had foreclosure, banks have the authorization to sell 80% of the appraised value. The bank is gonna do their own appraisal. Or you might give a BPO. I'm not sure, it's called a broker price opinion. Because that is also a service that you can offer to a bank, is to be the BPO person. Broker price opinion. They will pay you for that. Just to do comps. What was your specific question?
Who pays for it? Well, you said
Yes,
that
yeah.
I have to pay for it.
Right, so it's a business decision, so every seller that you meet in general. If you have to decide if they're realistic or not on their sales price. Because if they're unrealistic on their sales price. And they're expecting you to advertise and market and spend money, that's money you're not gonna get back. Now, sometimes if you're going after a new construction apartment building. Like, let's say someone built, or condos, let's say someone built a 20 condominium project or 20. And you're gonna take that and list it and be the agent to sell all those units or rent all those units. A lot of times, those companies that had that project have already allocated a market. And then you can tap into that. You can ask them, did you allocate a marketing budget? So just okay, thanks. I mean, I'm spending time on there just so you guys know how this works, right? Just if that's something that you want to attack. Now, face to face, these are gonna be your best things to go after. The question, you need to pick something to do daily. What is your daily prospecting? So. This allied resource thing is like, everyone knows that social butterfly person. You wanna have lunch. Once a week, once every 2 weeks with that social butterfly. That person is gonna refer a lot of business to you. Hopefully. And then face-to-face meetings. Okay, so door knocking, door-to-door canvassing. Allied resources meals, so that's what I'm talking about, taking them out. Doing open houses. This was my thing. When I started real estate, I had an open house every Sunday. I was very depressed if I didn't have an open house to do. I put out 30 signs for my open houses. 30. It was a full-time job in the morning and a full-time job picking them up afterwards. And I mapped it out. Every place I put my sign, I put an X. When I picked it up, I put a cross or a circle around it. I picked it up. There's no other way to keep track of that many signs. But while I'm putting out my signs and while I'm picking up my signs, I'm talking to people. As I pull over my car, I'm walking slowly to the sign. I'm not running. I'm walking. People are pulling up. What is that? What do you got? So you pick up clients like that. You're gonna get sellers to call you for listing appointments just from putting out so many signs. Right? Because they want their house advertised like that. So everything that you do at an open house is to get mostly sellers, not buyers. So Sherry Beanstalk, for example, you brought her up. She has beautiful marketing that she has at her open houses. She'll have a really high quality flyer. She'll have
You had a whole
she'll have
room taking.
an open. She'll have like 2-sided, 4-sided things
She
that
says
open
these,
up.
which is really nice.
Yeah, there you go.
But she
Floor
does that,
plans,
like
floor
the
plans.
back,
There you go.
There's a
Right.
floor
So she has a formula.
I thought it was really nice.
And when you go into her open house, she has, all these
Liked
different,
it.
marketing materials that are there for that house. You go to another open house she has, same marketing materials.
Exactly. We went to a few.
So, okay, so you can do that same exact formula. When neighbors see what you do, they want the same representation. So an open house is to get sellers. It's a crazy way to think about it.
Yeah.
But the money that you're spending at your open house is to get more listings. Client parties, there are agents that do these things. I mean, I go on KW And I watch videos of other KW agents in other parts of the country that are selling 100 homes a year or more. They have client parties, they have networking events. My nephew is a networking event kind of person. He's a member of different networking things. He sells insurance. He's a genius though. He like figures. Anyways, I'm also very proud of him. He was in the Navy and he speaks fluent Arabic.
What?
He was stationed on the USS Carl Vinson when they went after Osama bin Laden. And he said to me there were only 2 people on that ship that spoke Arabic. He was one of them. Someone led the funeral. He can't tell me like who. But anyway, and I have another nephew he was a Navy SEAL, and another nephew who's also he was in Pensacola. Yeah, I don't know, a lot of military in my field. It's funny in LA you don't see military. Everywhere else in the country you see military everywhere. Here, LA, nothing,
That's true.
right?
You don't see it up north either, really.
In San Francisco area.
Area. You see it in San Diego.
So I mean,
They're the big.
everywhere else in the country, you see people walking around in uniforms. In LA, we don't see it. It's like it's weird. It's not in our. All right, we don't see it, but everywhere else in the country, you do. But so networking events, I know just from him what he does. He will join a networking. Usually they have these networking things that there's one person who does this and one person that does that, one person that does that. And you can join networking events where you're the only real estate person, right? And then you're just making connections with everyone there. So it definitely works. It's just how much time you have and what you want to dedicate your time to. So I think, I mean, you're going to be in a different time in your life, depending on your age, if you have kids, if you have kids, you're always going to have the school network to get into.
Yeah.
You have just wherever you are in your life, you have to take advantage of where you are. If I was in my 20s, my real estate game would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday partying. That would be it. I would just be the social partier and just getting business like that. That'd be it. That would be my game. Just talking to people about real estate at the clubs and so you get a lot of it. You don't have to know anything about real estate except have the relationship, have people think that you know, and then you have a team here at the office to do everything for you. So there's a coach. There's someone who sells, I think, 200 homes a year. He's in the Coachella Valley. And he's a magician. Like he can talk to someone at Starbucks and have a deal. Crazy. But he doesn't even know how to get on the MLS. Sells hundreds of homes a year, doesn't know how to get on the MLS.
So who does all that?
He has someone in business.
In his
Just do
own.
it. Yeah. So I'm saying, like
Wait, what?
he'll meet someone, he'll talk, he'll say, buying, selling, like he knows properties because he's been there. He's always around looking at property, taking people to property. But he can't get on the MLS to send anyone property. That would be someone in his office that would do that. But he knows property and he talks to buyers.
We
and
have
talks
that
to
in the
sellers.
census.
So, I mean, that's just up to you who you're talking to, who you're networking with, partnering with. So I'm saying like you can hire someone for everything, right? Except the social network. That has to be you. You have to be the person.
Except bringing the listings.
You have to be talking to people. You have to be talking to people. So seminars. If you guys want to do first time buyer seminar, that kind of thing, you're welcome to do this here. You can do it. Like, just schedule it with Veronica or Sophia. Tell them that you're thinking about doing it. Do it. You just have to make sure someone can let them in at the front door. The door locked at 5. I know that is there still a real estate class that teaches here at night? I'm not sure. Sometimes there is. But you can do that here. Booths at events. If there's an event that you know about and you think that it would be advantageous to you to have a booth, you can do that. Teaching and speaking opportunities. Everyone loves to talk about real estate. So if you have that opportunity, I know it's like A lot of people are nervous to speak in front of people. But if you're not, go for it. Okay, this is all not expensive. This is all picking up the phone and talking to people. Not a lot of money spent on this. Marketing costs money. So this is the stuff that's gonna cost. And it's, you have to throw a lot of money at this to get business. You can't. But you know, this is not gonna cost you money and it's business like it's easier business to get. This, you're gonna marketing, you're gonna throw a lot of money out there. And you're gonna have hopefully incoming business that you need to respond to follow up. So average newspapers, if you're gonna advertise, say, in the Beverly Hills Courier, or, you know, we used to have the Penny Saver, we don't have that anymore, but I don't know what the local, whatever the local, I mean, is there any newspaper that gets handed out in your area once a week? You
No.
don't see that anymore?
No newspaper. I haven't seen
They're
newspapers in
requested.
minutes.
You normally have to request it and you don't just like get it anymore.
Uh-huh.
You have to ask to get.
Every area used to get like this little rolled up thing with a rubber band around
You
it.
ask for that to get.
Every-
So the EDDM.
Yeah.
That I did it,
Yeah,
recently, and what they did, they put in, instead of in 500 homes, they put in 100 homes for in each home. And I had people
what do
text
you mean
me,
100?
instead of putting in the whole area,
Yeah,
they put in each home 4 or 5 flyers.
at the same time, the
Yes,
same
and I had
exact
people
time?
call, and I had people text me and they said, listen, we know you paid money for that.
Wow,
Just want you
so
to-"
that's the postal person.
So that's like,
Yeah, that's the
it's
postal
another
person.
thing to like,
Or are they the only ones that requested to get a newspaper anymore?
no, but that's like, it's.
So-
people don't like
And then they
to-
just send you those.
Let's talk about that.
Five.
So EDDS, every door direct mail.
I just did it yesterday.
It's in my neighborhood, that's why.
EDDM?
Yeah,
Okay, so,
1,400 out.
wow, good for
I
you.
sent in my neighborhood and I got several texts of people that were like, listen, we know you spent a lot of money on that. We got like 5 or 6 flyers in our,
Oh, wow.
No.
So he's just dumping them.
so.
Okay, so here's, this is the US Postal Service website. Every door direct mail. So you can pick a route from a carrier. So instead of sending mail to this address, to this address, to this address, you can pick a carrier route where the mail truck goes, and every single mailbox on that carrier's route will get your flyer. Right, so that's EDDM for your postcard.
It's cheap.
It's cheap. It's cheaper than postage. So EDDM marketing, or mail flats currently 21 cents a piece. Better than 50 cents, right?
53 cents now.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
so. I used to be able to go and this was an interactive. This used to be an interactive thing, online tool. Let's just see here. Here we go. So let's search for routes. So give me any zip code.
90048.
9004.
That's what you said?
Search.
That's my zip. I'll get it.
Beverly Grove right there.
All right, so let's see what we got. Okay, now, if you guys look at this, you see how different areas are highlighting up? You can see that as I move around, different areas will highlight. So those are all routes. So, and the numbers are changing here. So this route has 717. If you look at where it says total. So that has 717. This one has 357. This one, 842. This route, 119. 936. So you can select these areas and it's pretty cool.
You can also go by demographic, like if you want.
Yeah, I
to
see
send
that, I
to
see that.
certain age
By their
group.
income.
Yeah. And it's,
That's wow, that's pretty
It's about 22 cents.
interesting that the incomes are
Right.
enough to own a buy a property.
22 cents.
all them costs.
Interesting. So, you know what? This is how you get to apartment owners. This is how you get to first time buyers. You send EDDM to an apartment, it's EDDM, right? This is how you do it, guys.
You pick a dense area where there's.
Pick a
bunch of
dense area of apartments and that's how, and you do the EDDM.
So you get your farm area like that too?
If you're going after first time buyers, they're renters, if
First
that's
time renters?
first time buyers. So,
I didn't check though. Can you pick apartments only? I don't know if you can do that.
no, but if you know that the streets are densely
Yeah.
apartments, right?
There are some areas that are just all apartments.
Correct.
90029.
That's how you hit them, and then it comes in their mail. That's how you do it. Yep, all right, cool. Uh, All right, so I went to, we have just a couple minutes, and we'll take a break. I went to a family reunion for Keller Williams where one of the breakout sessions was the panelists were agents that sell over 1,000 homes a year. So I went to that one and I'm thinking, wow, if I could take one thing back to my business, that'd be awesome. So I went to this breakout session. And there were 4 agents that were leading the panel, all selling over 1,000 homes a year. There were probably 300 AW agents in the audience asking questions. And the answers that were given by the panel were page 127, page 34, page 98. They didn't answer a single question except the page number of this book where the answer could be found. So all those people that sell over 1,000 homes a year read this book, they get to the end and they start from the beginning. And they read this book over and over. They all had this book on the desk and they were worn out. Totally worn out. So this is definitely the book. Just to tell you, like, what did they have in common? They all had radio shows. They all had a time slot, like on Saturday, where they had a radio show, real estate radio show. Some people did blimp advertising. They all had bus benches, magazine advertising. Yellow pages are a thing anymore? I have no idea.
No.
You can do cable advertising, local cable from Spectrum, right? They do offer it. Grocery carts, I get calls sometimes from marketing companies that want me to advertise on grocery carts. And the separators that are on the grocery conveyor belt, those things, I haven't done it, but you can. If you have you can buy a van and put your name on the side of it, say, list with me and you get a free moving van. Right? So there's all the different things. So promotional items, if you want on July 4th, put out flags in an area. Halloween, count pumpkins. I've heard something really clever. An item that an agent was handing out. They took those round canisters of Morton salt and they put a label of themselves around it. Because no one is ever going to get rid of that salt. It'll be in the cupboard for 10 years, right? So that was pretty smart. That's something that will last forever. Websites. So if you're going to do advertising, have a URL that someone can click on or go to really easily. That will take them to your lead capture website. So when they get to your website, there should be a pop-up that, it's giving them some kind of information. And they need to put their name and phone number and email on it. That's lead capture website. So make sure you have something that will lead capture. Our KW website is a lead capture website. So, all right, so we'll take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk about lenders, title, and escrow. All right. All right.